Here.
Hi.
All right, come over here.
What's going on?
Let me see your keys. All right, turn around. Turn around. Turn around.
Wait, what is this?
You're being detained right now, okay?
This is Anthony Aiello. He had just arrived at the home of his 67-year-old stepdaughter, Karen Novara, where she was found dead. Inside the house, Karen was discovered seated at her dining room table. Blood covered the scene on the table, pooled on the floor, splattered across the counter, and even stained the curtains. She had a deep cut across her neck, and a kitchen knife had been placed in her hand. At first glance, it might have looked like Karen had taken her own life. The situation was first reported by her coworker who came looking for her after she unusually stopped showing up for work for a few days. Hit the like and subscribe button to get more crime content like this. Outside the house, Anthony struggled to process what had happened, but his demeanor suggested something different. Despite just learning that his stepdaughter was dead, he appeared unusually unconcerned. Anthony told investigators that the last time he had seen Karen was a few days earlier when he brought her pizza. At the time, this detail seemed minor, but it would soon become critical. However, when officers spoke with Karen's friend, Amber, the first person to arrive at the scene, it became clear that Karen would never have taken her own life.
She was my co-worker for the last 27 years.
So sorry.
And then she was supposed to work yesterday. She didn't. She always calls. She didn't show up. And then today my co-worker called me and see, oh Amber, do you know where she lives? Can you go check on her? I said, yeah. I said I will go now.
Okay. No, that's okay. Those two are enough. So you guys work together, and she didn't show up to work yesterday?
Yes. What was yesterday? Tuesday, right? No, yesterday
Wednesday.
was Wednesday, yeah. So I was supposed to work 9 and she was supposed to work whatever shift, I don't know.
So when was the last time she went to work? Tuesday?
No. I guess she was off for about off. But I
And
don't
she was
know.
off before that, okay?
I think so. She was off because I work only 3/5 now.
Okay.
So I can go home and check the schedule if you want.
Okay, so she didn't come to work yesterday, and did you try to call her?
My co-workers. I mean,
Okay,
of
but
course.
just you?
No.
Okay, that's fine. So you came over here today just to kind of check up on her,
Yes,
yeah?
I first tried to call her from my home.
Karen hadn't shown up for work in several days, and her coworkers initially assumed she was simply off duty. But when she missed 2 additional days, something completely out of character, Amber decided to check on her at the apartment. After securing the crime scene, investigators began noticing inconsistencies. Karen had multiple wounds on her head and faced deep injuries that appeared to have been caused by a heavy object, not the kitchen knife found in her hand. The blood spatter patterns also contradicted a suicide. Blood was distributed throughout the area in a way that indicated violence and a struggle, not a controlled, self-inflicted act. There were also signs of staging. Dresser drawers had been pulled out and scattered across the floor, giving the impression of a robbery. Soon after, the medical examiner confirmed what detectives already suspected. Karen Novara could not have inflicted these injuries on herself. That raised a disturbing question: who would want to kill Karen? She was known to be a quiet woman who mostly kept to herself. Still, investigators noticed a few details that stood out. On the kitchen counter sat a plate holding 4 slices of pizza wrapped in aluminum foil. And on Karen's left wrist, she wore a Fitbit Alta HR, a fitness tracker capable of monitoring heart rate, movement, and sleep. Detectives immediately recognized its potential value. If the device had been connected to the internet, it could reveal exactly when Karen died and possibly lead them to her killer. Karen had worked as a pharmacy technician at the Regional Medical Center of San Jose for an incredible 45 years. Her co-workers described her as dedicated and dependable. She mostly kept to herself, lived alone, and wasn't involved in any romantic relationship. In fact, the only person she regularly saw was her stepfather. Anthony later changed his story, claiming he saw Karen on Saturday, September 8th, not Friday as he had originally stated, immediately raising red flags. That date was 5 days before her body was discovered. He said he brought her homemade pizza around 3 p.m. Anthony also claimed that later that same day, he saw Karen drive past his house, wave at him, and that someone else was in the car, though he couldn't identify who.
Yeah, she said she's going to have a company.
She was going to have
friends
company.
coming over.
Okay. Not
Friends
sorry.
one or
That's what I was just going to ask him. How many friends? Did she say friends or friend?
While detectives interviewed family members and neighbors, they also worked to retrieve data from Karen's Fitbit. After obtaining a search warrant, they contacted Fitbit headquarters to access all records from her device. Karen's Fitbit Alta HR did more than count steps, it continuously monitored her heart rate. Because it was connected via Bluetooth to a computer in her home, the data was uploaded to Fitbit servers in real time. That meant the device captured Karen's final moments, right up until her heart stopped. The data revealed something critical. On September 8th at 3:20 p.m., Karen's heart rate suddenly spiked, indicating extreme stress or a physical struggle. Just 8 minutes later, at 3:28 p.m., her heart rate dropped sharply and then stopped entirely. This established her time of death as September 8th, not September 13th, when her body was found. Karen had been dead in the house for 5 days. More importantly, that timeline aligned perfectly with Anthony Aiello's claim that he had been at her home delivering pizza. To confirm his presence, detectives turned to surveillance footage from a neighborhood Ring camera. The footage captured the intersection near Karen's driveway. At 2:58 p.m., the driveway was empty. By 3:12 p.m., a small, dark gray compact car consistent with a Toyota Corolla appeared. Additional clips at 3:14, 3:19, 3:21, and 3:33 p.m. showed the vehicle still parked there. By 3:35 p.m., it was gone. Karen's mother later confirmed that she and Anthony owned a dark gray 2007 Toyota Corolla and that Anthony was driving it that day. Surveillance placed his car at Karen's home from 3:12 p.m. to at least 3:33 p.m., covering the exact window when Karen's heart rate spiked and then stopped. Detectives then examined Anthony's claim that Karen later drove past his house with someone else in the car. Surveillance near his residence told a different story. Cameras covering the only entrance and exit showed no sign of Karen's vehicle that day. At that point, detectives knew Anthony was the prime suspect and that he had been lying. An arrest warrant was obtained, and on September 25, 2018, Anthony was arrested.
Turn around, turn around.
Wait, what is
Hold on. You're being detained right now, okay?
After everybody else, primary, go for it.
The evidence placed him at the scene during the exact window when Karen died. Still, like many suspects, he denied any involvement. According to court documents, Karen suffered multiple chop wounds to her head and upper body, deep injuries consistent with a heavy weapon, possibly a hatchet or axe. Her throat was slit after she was already dead, and a knife was then placed in her hand to stage the scene as a suicide. The level of violence pointed to intense rage, leaving detectives with one troubling question. What could have driven a 90-year-old man to attack his stepdaughter so brutally?
What can I tell you? I have no way to tell you anything. If I was there that long, I don't remember. That's it.
When investigators executed a search warrant at Anthony's home on Mara Vista Circle, the findings were damning. In the master bedroom closet, they found a pair of men's pants with red and brown stains on the knees.
Tony, that's your shirt. It's the same t-shirt that I can see peeking out over the top of your...
I have no idea. That's what blood? My blood or what?
That is blood. It's blood on the shirt.
Whose blood is it?
That's what we're going to find out.
In the garage, they discovered a camouflage jacket with blood spatter on the front, along with a blood-stained t-shirt. There was also clear evidence that someone had attempted to clean blood from the garage. Lab testing confirmed that the blood belonged to Karen Novara. Even so, Anthony continued to deny any role in her death. With Anthony still refusing to tell the truth, detectives ended the interview and left him alone in the room, and he immediately gave them what they have been looking for.
I think that I'm guilty.
Do you see the problem with that?
What's your problem? What can I say? Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, Tony.
That's something I would never do in my lifetime. Never.
Anthony Aiello was charged with a first-degree murder in the death of Karen Novara and pleaded not guilty. While in custody, however, his health began to decline. In August 2019, a criminal grand jury formally indicted him and his trial was set to proceed, but his condition continued to worsen. On August 22, 2019, Anthony was transferred from the Santa Clara County Main Jail to a hospital due to complications from pre-existing health issues. On September 10, 2019, at 6:12 p.m., Anthony Aiello was pronounced dead at Santa Clara Valley Medical Center. He was 91 years old.